Hello, people.
Yeah, baby.
Here we are.
People.
Oh, Julia's on. Hey, Julia. She's my next website client. I'm so excited.
Oh, amazing.
All right.
Man, the internet is so cool. Look at us from across the world.
I know. Here we are. This is Cass O'Neill. She's in California. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
And I got Emily. She's calling in from Australia, just living in that jungle life. She likes to go swimming. She likes Joe Dispenza's meditations. She really, really loves showing up for the work herself. She's very embodied. She's really good at dancing and moving and shaking and holding us accountable for our highest selves, for the highest good of all, baby.
Everybody meet Cass. And for the on Cass's, I'm Emily from Australia, apparently. Sitting here without a shirt on, in my kimono, in my bed. And Cass and I were just talking outside of this conversation around the importance of investing in yourself. So we thought we would jump on live to have this conversation in front of you because we are facilitating something very special this time next week. So Cass, I might let you tell everybody about that offering first before we dive into why we are showing up in the same way that we expect others to show up.
Beautiful. Yes. So it's a virtual retreat called The Blank Page. And I mean, as we all are experiencing our own kind of storyline of the times right now, we're all basically offered a blank page. And yes, we're all offered a blank page every day in life, but it feels like a really huge sacred pause. And as Emily says, like intermission to be able to stop, pause, and decide what the hell goes on the page. And so there's 3 facilitators, myself, Emily, and then Sammy, who's Sammy B. Love. And yeah, I believe just like the potent energy of the 3 of us coming together is so powerful. So we're moving through 3 different stages within the retreat. And yeah, getting you into the space of embodied freedom through energetic overhauling, through just magic. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, all the deets are in the link in our bio, so you'll be able to figure that out. But Cass and I were literally just talking on the phone because I just had a call with a coach that I've been following for a long time, who is the embodiment of pleasure and orgasmic abundance, really, which is something that I'm like, I want that. And things are going really good in my business, and I want it to feel even more fun. Like I was kind of saying, my life is already so creative, so juicy, but how can it get even better than this? That's the core question that I'm really driven by, which led me onto this sales call with this coach, right? And Cass and I were talking about that, the fear of the pain body that arises when you're about to invest in yourself, that something deeper in you than just your logical mind, like your soul, if that's what you call it, comes knocking at the door, and it's like, hey, that person over there, like you want what they have, or you know, that service, that product, that package is what will bring you closer to me, the soul, or the truth, or the authentic self, if you want to call it. And then what to do when that fear arises. So can you speak to that a little bit, Cass, of what your process was like? When you went to make that investment in yourself, what journey did you get taken on, and how do you come to
So I just yesterday invested in myself, and it's this thing called School of Magic, and it's kind of a business mastermind course of, really getting so much clarity around the next level for myself and my client, and what problem I solve, and all these different things. And so you get on the call and you get excited, right? Like the people listening right now, they're excited. They're like, oh, I can feel the energy of these people. I really want to do this retreat. And you start to feel your energy system expand, and you start to be like, yes, I can see this potential and what this can bring me and all these things. And then you say yes at the end of the call, and you give your money, and you're like, I'm in. And then all of a sudden, the next even hour, for me, I start to contract, and I start to literally feel my body contract, and I start to move into my mind, and my mind looks for all the reasons to keep me safe, right? So it's like, Cass, you don't really need that. That call was just enough. And you know what problem you solve, and like, you know, the clarity you need. Like, you're good. You can do this on your own. You're fine. And all the reasons, all the storylines to keep me where I am. And I think the power comes in choosing and then empowering that choice. So I had already chosen, right? And so the second part of it is just empowering that choice and saying, I see you, mind. I hear you, mind. I feel you. And I've chosen, and we're doing this together, and let's rock this out. And I know you're trying to keep me safe, but I'm safe, you know, like, I'm really safe, and I want to get even bigger in this world and expand that container even more. Because every time we hit a creation edge, we hit a fear edge. So it's almost as if you're at the edge of a diving board and you're about to create something, and you look over and there's a huge shadow next to you, and that's the fear edge. And typically we choose that fear edge because that's what our world has kind of magnetized us to be in. And so we choose that, and we're like, it's cool. I'm just going to turn around. I'm just going to lay by the pool. Like, I see the pool, and seeing the pool is enough. And, you know, just soaking up IG lives is enough. And their free offerings is enough. And no, fuck that. When you actually energetically say, yo, this is for you, higher self, let's do this together, actually shit changes right away. That's the craziest part. If you're listening to the breadcrumbs, it's just like, bam.
Yes. Oh, fuck, that was so well articulated. And you highlighted a piece of my process of where my pain body or old self or smaller self that wants to keep me safe comes up, is in the place where I get so far to the point of being on the call or even talking about package prices. And because they've already given something so generously, which is what I think everybody in this work really does well, you know, they show up for the lives, or they show up for the podcast or whatever. But that's only the surface of what is possible. But I go, oh, that's enough. Like, that interaction actually, I said it today on the sales call with this coach. I was like, you know, I've had a few interactions with this other woman, but every time I leave feeling like I've received enough medicine, and so I don't actually sign on with her. And I was like, that's such a cock block to my expansion, because it's like the amount is safe enough for me to go, okay, I wade in the shallows of whatever I receive instead of jump off the diving board, to use your metaphor. I've totally used that as well. And it's so funny to speak it and be like, that's what that is.
Yes. And I love that you say in the beginning that you're guided by this question of how can it get better than this? And I think it's from Peter Kelly's book, right? At least that's where I picked it up. And I think it's so interesting as humans how easily we put a lid on our joy, and how we're like, okay, I've arrived here, and this is good enough, and I don't want to expand anymore, because what if then my shoe drops again, and what if I lose my home, or what if I don't actually, you know, keep my business going? Because if I'm shifting something, then I'm actually changing the equation of this alchemized magic, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to fuck it up. And it's like, actually, how could it get better than this? And it wants to get better than this for us. Like, it literally wants to be bigger and bigger and better and more expansive, and you are the embodiment of that. So thank you for that.
Thanks. Well, one of the questions she had today was like, why are we on this call? And she's really open about the amount of money she makes, and then what that money can do. And I'm also listening to Earth is Hiring right now, because the message just is so much more 10x right now in this time. And I was like, I'm tuning into listening to the book going, fuck yeah, I want like way more money so that I can do way more things with it and circulate people and, you know, all that fun stuff. But really what I want is for the money to feel more pleasurable. And so on this call with I was like, I would love to tell you that I want to make a lot more money, which I do. But really what it's about is not how much more money, it's about how much more pleasurable it can feel to generate the money, to circulate the money, to give it, to invest in others. And I think like we all ask ourselves that question right now, right? Of like, what's the thing that plagues my mind that I'm like, I want more of, I want more of, I want more of. Like, for a lot of us, it's money or it's time. I want more time, I want more time. I want to play, I want to go, I want this, I want that. What's the want underneath that want? And that's the part where you get to invest in yourself, because it's a stretch into a new way of being.
Yes. And what I also hear in that too is we have these images of what it is we desire. I want a boyfriend, I want money, but deeper than that, what is the feeling, right? And you're saying you want it to feel more pleasurable, and that's so powerful because you're connecting yourself and aligning yourself with an energy. And you know, so much of our world is like, I want the boyfriend because you think it'll fill you up, it'll make you feel something. But yeah, what are the feeling states that you actually desire to have and to feel, so that when you invest in your yeah. Woo, baby, and all the good ways. But yeah, so for those of you out there listening and are feeling called or feeling expanded by even this conversation and the energy that we're emitting together and emanating together, ask yourself that. What is it that you actually want to feel? And Emily has an unbelievable free guided visualization of your ideal day. And like, holy shit, it's so interesting when you actually sit down and let yourself drop into that frequency and like expand into that and put words to it, because our mind wants us to think that it's complicated and hard and confusing and heavy. And our heart actually and our soul actually want to lead us with ease, and pleasurable alchemy is Emily's like magical thing. And so it's like, yeah, doing those little activities that get us into that frequency of the feeling states that we actually desire, and investing in something like this virtual retreat that we have, that's 5 hours of just such a safe container for such depth and such heart truths. And yes, Humble Wild Wellness, we're so happy because it's lighting me up too.
Yeah, Jasmine. Everybody needs to go and follow Jasmine because she's an absolute genius in the birth world, especially at this time. So just a shout out to everybody watching this, Humble Wild Wellness.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, so
sorry.
And if anyone has questions, like, please drop them in. We're down to play. We're playing.
Yeah, the container that we're co-creating is really one of complete non-distraction, presence, and I think you said dropping in, right? It's like like a cocoon or a chrysalis, because this is such an inward time where the rest of the world is kind of like quietening down and in other ways ramping up and getting louder. And the place for discernment is really important. And especially when it comes to investing in yourself, right? That's why we're having this conversation, is because Cass and I both just made really scary investments in ourselves, which is why we want to share this process with you, because it doesn't ever end. There's no like, let's do this course and then I'll get there. As you said, you're always wanting to expand and teeter on the edges of your potentiality, because it doesn't want to die in you, right? And the part of the retreat that I'm hosting is about conscious creation. And I love that question just popped up right now. Read it and sync on it while I'm talking. She can answer it. But the part about conscious creation that I'm really excited to share on this virtual retreat is that we all have an opportunity now with this blank page to write a new story for us moving forward, right? Like, everything is changing. Everything has already changed. There's no longer this fear of like, fuck, is it going to change? Like, let's hold it together. No, it's obliterated. It's gone. It's for you, and it is for you. And so the process that I want to lead us through in this virtual retreat is like, what are you going to do about it now? Like, who do you want to be? And those sound like really simple questions, but they're the most profound ones that drive who we show in the world as. And for me, like, the pain of living with a gem inside of you that no one else can see, that's why I make the scary decision to invest in a coach. Because I'm like, there's a gem in me that no one can see yet.
Oh, and I love that.
I need to put my money where my mouth is, because that holds me this like integrity, accountable energy of like, I'm going to show up.
Yes.
And I want that for everybody.
Yes. Oh.
Like revealing their gems, but we need a little support, you know?
We do. Yeah. And knowing, and the discernment, I love the word discernment, and that's something I think you posted about recently. And it's like discerning that we're always students and we're always teachers. And so when you're actually investing in yourself and expanding yourself, you also expand your capacity to teach, because as you embody this work, the way you embody it as well as you teach it. Yes, teach it both verbally and doing stuff like we're doing, but also just being it. Then you're teaching it through your being, and we emanate through that energy. And it's just like this cyclical, amazing just exchange. And I remember so many moments in my life just not wanting to talk to people or not wanting to connect with people because I felt like I had nothing to share. You know, I'm like, I'm just living my normal life, and I walk to work and I make a smoothie for breakfast and I work this corporate job, and it was like I had nothing to share and nothing to say. And I was almost like I was on the sidelines in life watching everyone live the life that I wanted to live on Instagram while I'm sitting at my corporate job. And it feels like when you invest in yourself and when you follow those breadcrumbs, that you actually you are engaged in the conversation of your life and unlocking that treasure that has so many layers that we never get to the true bottom of. We're just like unlocking layers and layers and layers and layers of. Mm-hmm. Yes, Gracie, we got it. We got her.
Hell yeah.
So good.
And then, Gracie, what happens is,
yeah, you're gonna freak the fuck out. yeah. You're gonna be like, no, that I don't need to do this. So we're gonna follow up with you for sure. I'm gonna take a little screenshot of your. Yeah, there we go. And then Dunny.
Yeah. How do you start creating feelings internally versus relying on external sources like we may be used to doing? Oh, fuck, this is just going to be literally the whole part that I teach. Well, and it's going to be woven through everybody's aspect. But in terms of conscious creation, it's all about our inner world of how we feel. The whole like mind fuck of manifestation, where people are like, oh, like you just want to manifest a car? Cool, like have fun with that. No, it's not about the car. It's actually about how you feel. What does that mean about you? What does that ignite in you? What does that activate in you? If you were to have the car, you're essentially becoming that person that you want to be that has the car.
Yes.
To the point where then you become a match and the car just arrives. So,
yes.
I love that you brought that up, whatever your real name is.
Dunny Muldoon, I love it.
Because that's such a really important piece, especially at this time where we're shut off from a lot of our distractions and a lot of our life, like in the external world, and we're with ourselves. How do you really feel when you're with yourself? If you can't be with yourself, then you can't manifest external of you anything that's going to feel better. It's just going to be a lie. And that's why so many get the thing and we're like, oh, is this all there is? Or and then that's why you end up at Cass and I's retreat, because you're like, there's got to be more.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a reason why Emily's part is the second part. Sammy's part is clear, which is the first part. So I would just add to that it's important to recognize that as we've been walking through life, like it's almost like we're all carrying a suitcase behind us. And as we go through different experiences in life, we have shoes and shirts and shits and accessories and whatever jackets that are in the suitcase that we actually don't have space to call in and align with what it is that we desire. And so it's very important as the first step to actually stop and pause and open your suitcase and say, like, I don't want this. I want this. Maybe I need to scream this out. Maybe I need to punch this out or cry this out and get this out of my system so I can create space to actually energetically align. So there's a reason why we clear and then we consciously create and then we embody. And these are the 3 steps that we'll be moving you through.
Yeah. Awesome question. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm loving this. Yeah, we're on fire. We're creating a little vortex. Who else is getting sucked into this little vortex? Yeah, baby.
Like, so excited to have you. Like, I can't wait.
Emily and I were doing opposite accents today. So, like, she loves just frothing at the mouth at her cacao, and, like, she loves her cacao ceremonies, and, like, she drops into, like, her higher shaman self, and she's so fucking good at it, you know, mate? Like, she just loves the koalas, and watch out for the drop bears because they'll fucking get you there. And also, for those who can't be live for the retreat, it will be recorded. Obviously, we want your energy there because we can help you real time and shift it real time, but it will be recorded. It's Friday the 17th, which is next Friday, 1 p.m. PST.
Yeah. So for those of you in Australia, for my time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, so if you're in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, it's 6 a.m. till 11 a.m., which is awesome. Get the fuck up out of bed for this, because it's Like, I'm not fucking
Yeah.
kidding you.
Yeah.
It's going to be such an incredible container for sustainable living. Not like the quick thing, like, what do they call it? Like junk food orgasm, you know, where you're kind of like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yes, the high.
like,
Yeah, the
it's not
quick.
a junk
Yeah.
food treat. It's not gonna like make you feel good like this life does, and then you leave back to your shitty life, and you're like, oh, things actually change, work, right? Like, you can tune into our energy and be lifted up by it and feel really good about it, but then the life's gonna end, and you're gonna be like, oh,
Chill
like,
in my room.
until I actually show up for myself and do the work and go through my own process of, I'm gonna make this investment, and it's scary and it activates the pain body because it wants to keep me safe. Until you actually do that, nothing is changing. Right? Kidding ourselves. Yeah. I'm all about letting it be effortless and letting it be easy. I mean, if you follow me, you know that that's such a big piece of my work. But there is an element of discomfort, or I call it uncomfy, where it's an opportunity to be like, ooh, I'm dancing on my edge here because this is uncomfortable.
Yes. 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 A fucking man. I can feel it.
So good. Is there any last pieces, Cass, that you want to add to that process of investing in yourself?
I just think would like to add as well that I think it's interesting right now because there is a lot of noise in the world. There's a lot of people doing free Instagram stuff, all this. Sorry. And I think we can choose to decipher and to be in discernment around what we actually want to listen to, not just what we hear. You know, there's a difference between hearing and listening. And so I think, like, I experienced this, and I don't know if you did as well, Emily, that the fact that I invested energetically in this program that I'm going to be doing, it's so amazing because now it's clear. That's my vision, and anything serving that is what wants to trickle in and what I want to hear. Otherwise, I'm just like lost in this sea of, wow, there's so many offerings on Instagram. So many people I look up to are doing free stuff. But yet, honestly, in my experience, when something is totally free, I haven't gotten a huge energetic up leveling from it. I've enjoyed it, similar to what you're saying, where it's like I get this little high from it. But it didn't do a lot for me. And I know the power in actually investing in yourself comes with energy, and money is energy, and I love money for that. It's circulating, and we're deciding what we want to generate from that money. And you know, for those listening, I've just been so hyped on the book Earth is Hiring as well. And in the money part, it's like, before you pay, do you give appreciation to this money that you're putting down, and what do you ask for it to generate for you? Do you want it to generate a whole new fucking way of being for you? Do you want it to generate a new home for you? And ask this money, because money is listening, and money is magic, and money will actually transport you there, instead of contracting and being like, okay, I'm just gonna like charge it to my PayPal that I don't look at, you know. Expanding with this money as you invest in yourself is so powerful.
Oh, so good. That's my dog at the
Anything
door just crying.
Anything else from your sweet channel?
I'm just so with you. Yeah, what we pay for, we value. I heard only yesterday, I think it was Angel Phoenix that said it on one of her videos, that I invested in because, yes, she does free Instagram lives all the time, but I know if I pay her, one, that money is going to continue circulating in her frequency, and she does fucking awesome things with her money, supporting that process. And two, I'm going to pay more attention. I'm going to listen with my cells. As you said, there's a difference between listening. So she said something like, if you were given a Lamborghini and the other Lamborghini that you had was one that you worked for 10 years to save for, which one do you think could be lined with Macca's trash bags?
Oh, right.
And I was like, yeah. Like, anything free I do, I'm the same. I kind of like might get a little junk food kick out of it, you know, like, ooh, that felt good. But the deep work really happens in a container that you put your money where your mind is, in knowing that there is more. And I honestly think that that's the biggest shift, because we live in a world where of overload, information overload, and everything is accessible. You can DIY fucking everything. I'm not denying that at all. But the value of what you receive comes out of what you give into it. Are you present? Are you really showing up for yourself? Are you making that declaration with your dollar, your time, your energy, out of a place of, oh, this is going to expand me, you know, and get that feeling rather than just, that was nice. Like, fuck nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fuck that. We're not here to play nice. No. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. No, babies. Yeah. I'm so excited. And I love all of you. And I love you, Emily. You're just the fucking best. I just love you so much.
Yeah, I love you too.
Thank you all for joining, you rock stars.
Yeah. At Cass O'Neill is where you'll find her. I'm Spirited Seeker. We're more than happy to do voice messages, answer any questions about the virtual retreat. If you are leaning in and it's making you a little bit wet and tingly and you're like, ooh, this sounds like something for me. As Cass said, April 17th PT, so that's Aussie time the 18th. And so we've got a week, kids. Let's do it. So excited.
Let's fucking do it.
Love you.
Love you all. So much love. Thank you, sweet babe. Talk to you all soon.
Woohoo! Bye.
Bye.